Morning, evening, afternoon. What a weekend. We were just at the JP McManus Pro-Am for the last 2 days, watching some of the best players in the world tee it up. And one other man that was also in Adair in County Limerick was Conor Nolan. Conor's joined with me this evening. How are you doing, Conor?
All good, Park. Yeah, still coming down from.
You were the brave man staying up last night as well. I came home yesterday evening, but
Yeah, we did it wrong now. We stayed in it there Monday and Tuesday night. Um, I think the proper plan of action was go up on Sunday night and stay Monday night, and then head home Tuesday evening. Apparently, all the crack, Spieth, JT, Ricky, they were all in Auntie Lena's on Sunday night. So we
seriously.
made, yeah. McAnella and the Firepit Collective lads are in there with them. So we made a bit of a boob there, but
Oh, shit.
we'll
So
know that. Well, you were in Limerick on Sunday night, were you?
we were in Limerick and we were like, oh, sure, no one's going to be out because we were saying University of Limerick and we were like, right, this is grand. We're just going to Limerick. So we went in and found this, like, we were looking around for pubs. We tried, all right, just like give a bit of a backdrop. We thought the Limerick game was at 5:30. So we said, right here, we'll be on the road at 1:30. So I'm sitting down at dinner at 1:00. And Dad goes to me, he's like, you know, the Limerick match at 3:30. And I'm like, oh. So anyways, we end up going down, found a good pub for the after Limerick game. Then went looking and found a group of like French people that were over for the Pro-Am. Just got chatting to them for ages in like some really quiet pubs. So yeah, we went down Sunday.
I'm not surprised that people come from abroad. Like, I'm sure we'll chat about it. But Jesus, like, if it was on in the UK, I would have gone over to watch it. Like, just 100%. Incredible stuff.
Yeah, very very lucky that we got it on our island. But yeah, so went down Sunday night and then was in early on Monday morning. I think I saw on your Instagram you were there pretty early as well, were you?
Got up around the afternoon, about 11 o'clock.
Oh, did you?
Missed the morning starters. But I think we would have gone up very early if the timetable was a bit different. But like the afternoon of the first day was just outrageous. So we were happy enough to stick with them.
Yeah, absolutely unbelievable. So give me your thoughts on your first impression. Is this your first time in Adair Manor?
First time. Yeah, I know you're lucky enough to have played it. But no, first time being down there. I think I played the old, not the old course. I never played Adair Manor even before it was revamped, but I played the other one. But yeah, I think when we first kind of walked in, it was, to be fair to them, for a kind of, I guess, a trial event for the Irish Open and Ryder Cup or what's to come in terms of infrastructure. It did fairly well, but when you walk in, I don't think you realize kind of what you're walking into. Like when you come in near the practice range and there's kind of car parks and buildings and a bit of an estate there, and then suddenly you go past whatever that thing is, the bear, or I actually don't know the backstory. Maybe you know,
No, I've
near the putting green at the back of the clubhouse, and it just opens up into like this field of dreams. Like the only thing I think, and I've never been there, but anyone I was talking to about it, it's just like walking out into Augusta and being able to kind of look out over this like paradise of golf. Yeah, it was breathtaking. Was probably the only way to describe it. And then, yeah, trying to figure out how to navigate it then, because it is such a big area. It was took a bit of planning, but I think we got a good shift in.
Yeah, no, that's good. Just to touch on what you said there, and I'll make a little bit of comparison later, like the Adair Manor and the Augusta comparison that a lot of people have made, and I saw Matt Fitzpatrick made it during the weekend or during the week as well. Augusta is very similar, that you walk in and you see the driving range on your left from when you're walking in, and then you go by the clubhouse, and it looks nice, like everything's absolutely perfect. But then you walk towards like the first tee, and Augusta's like just opens up into this massive open space. And it's very similar to Adair, and I wasn't expecting this either, because you walk in and you walk to the first tee box, but the second you turn the corner, the whole place just opens up and you can see the massive trees and everything in the background, the big white sandy bunkers. It's a class spot, and nothing out of place. Every bit of sand, every bit of grass is cut to perfection. Just actually, when we're talking about that, So yeah, not to blow my own horn or anything, but I was lucky enough to have played it before. And so you have one of the things down there is that you have to get a caddy. It's absolutely compulsory that you get a caddy, which is good. But the things and the stories that they give you, like my caddy, his name is Rusty. He doesn't work there anymore, but he caddied for Shane Larry, Pork Harrington, and all these lads. And he said that like one of the things was we played at Dare Manor maybe like a month or two after I was actually at the Masters, and he was like, "Oh, JP was at the Masters too," and he walked out there and he came back. He's like, "We need more flower beds here. We need to make this place more like Augusta," which was absolutely incredible. And then the other story he told me was like, this isn't really related to it now, but it's just a good story that they imported the sand from South Africa or Scotland. I know it's one of those two, but it's a really kind of like premium sand. But there's a golf club down the road called the Dare Manor Golf Club. And when the truck was coming, they actually dumped off the sand for the bunker at a Dare Manor Golf Club.
Fuck's sake.
And before they even got a chance, a Dare Manor Golf Club had ran around and spread it around some of their bunkers and could never give it back. So I thought that was a pretty good story. But like it is very, very similar to Augusta in that aspect. So yeah, give me your thoughts. So what did you do in the first day? Did you follow anyone in particular, or did you just walk around the course?
I know there was I was a man on a mission to see Tiger Woods. Anyone that knows me or has had to put up with me talking about Tiger for the last 10, 15 years knows well that was all I was going to be doing. Yeah, it was we arrived we were down the range, maybe trying to catch it, but it was about 3 or 4 people deep. You need to be there fairly early, really, to get any sort of decent spot on the range. So I think where we were standing, it was a bit further down, kind of where near the amateurs were, and in front of us was JT, Spieth, Cabrera Bello, Ram, Lowry, DeChambeau, Harrington, like just spread out in front of us. So like even at that, it's just a bit surreal. But Tiger arrived, McIlroy arrived. They were up near the kind of chipping area side of the driving range, which you probably had to be there from, I'd say, 4 hours early to really have a spot on the fence. So we decided to jump out onto the course and try and get a perch to watch that afternoon the guys go through. So went out to, I was asking a mate of mine I met there. He was down earlier than us, and I didn't really know the layout of the course, and I was like, where it'd be good to kind of get a vantage point for maybe a couple of holes. And he said anywhere kind of around the 5th, so like the par 3 4th, the 5th drive, or then even maybe the 6th tee box, the par 3 again. So we went out to the 5th tee box, and yeah, plonked ourselves down there for, I think it was about 4 or 5 hours, and watched all the lads come through. Yeah, I can't remember them all in order, but just the best golfers in the world back to back for 3 or 4 hours. And then the cherry on the top was Tiger coming through. So yeah, that was the day. We then jumped out to the back nine after a pint in the village, and followed a few groups around. Bit of Tiger, got the chip in on 12, 13. I think, as well, or 13. Yeah. That was amazing.
Sick.
And yeah, just trying to potter it around after that, but kind of made it we kind of had to make it a point. And I think everyone did. You had to commit to one place for a good chunk of the day just to see everyone, or else you'd be going around like a headless chicken. So yeah, that was day one. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's very similar to what we did. We got in actually pretty early that morning, so I walked around and convinced the lads to walk around with Matt Fitz's group, just being the US Open champion. Just want to see where he was hitting it. So I followed his group, and it actually wasn't that busy, so I got to see quite a lot of it. And I followed him till about the 7th hole, maybe 6th hole. Actually, I saw a shot in the par 3, and so I got to see a good bit of the front nine. And then we sat down at the 8th hole. We managed to get a few points in, which was great. And then we sat down there, and similar to yourself, just watched all the groups coming through. And then after the 8th hole, the lads were just like tipping on. We didn't see too much of the back nine, so I did to it there. But we woke up Tuesday and we got to the course about 8 o'clock. They went to the 16th green, which was unbelievable spectator scene. It was kind of like nearly like a stadium like hole with a little bank behind it, and then you could sit in between the 18th fairway and the 16th green to like watch both of them. That was great. I actually went out that morning and watched like Justin Thomas and Colin Morikawa and DJ Bryson. So I actually followed them for a good few holes and got to see quite a bit, especially on the back nine. So it was just an unbelievable spectacle just to see all these players. One thing I want to touch on was, what did you make of Augusta as a viewing spectacle? So as in getting to see the play.
Yeah, I guess the only criticism I'd have, and I know it's just because it's a 2-day kind of exhibition, is there wasn't that many vantage points. And when the Irish Open is there, when the Ryder Cup is there, there's going to be grandstands everywhere. So like it was tough unless you were literally on the side of the tee box, or unless there was a kind of hill behind the green, or a tee box or anywhere, some sort of a kind of raise so that you could stand over the crowd. One good example of that was 17 tee box. Like if you're not immediately on the tee box, there's a big hill behind where you get a class view straight down the middle of the fairway, which that hole in itself looks a bit like, I think, the 17th in Augusta, just a kind of very similar kind of layout and just massive undulations through the fairway. But as you said there, the 16-18 divide, we did that yesterday on day 2 for the last few groups. So we caught who was DJ came through, Ram, and then it was Tiger, McIlroy, McIlroy, and I think the 4 or 5 in a row absolutely stitched it onto the far right pin. Like, just the crowd was going absolutely mad. And then of course Tiger was the only one to hold the birdie. So it was pretty incredible for that. I'd be interested to see what they do when they do put a grandstand there. And kind of, I guess, that pocket on the right of 18. I only realized when I kind of walked 18 again how much bailout there is left. So the water actually, unless you're really going for a pin, the water probably won't come into play for a lot of the pros. Yeah. They'll probably just take the left or kind of have the left as the bailout area. So there might be a massive grandstand there. But then is it a double grandstand where there's going to be back-to-back grandstands on looking over the lake on 16 and then the green on 18? I'm not sure. But yeah, like, you can't, I'm not going to hold them against it, because it was just a warm-up or a trial run, and you couldn't expect them to do grandstands for a 2-day event. But I'd say any issues with viewing points will be absolutely solved in 5 years' time.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's all. That's interesting, because I found the exact same thing on tee boxes, whereby the tee boxes were elevated and they were sloped backwards. So if you weren't the first man in line at the tee box, you were already standing below the person in front of you. So it was very hard to get to see anything. And similar to that, so I was kind of raised tee boxes, and then similar to that, raised greens, which make for unbelievable excitement. Like the par 3, the 4th hole is a raised green, but unless you're like, you have an unbelievable spot there, it's very hard to see up onto the putting surface. And I found that was the way with a lot of it, like a lot of greens, especially like the 15th, unless you're at the very front of that tee box, there's not much room behind it, and it's right along the river. So there's not many, so you need a grandstand there. But that's an interesting thing.
We were right of 10 at one stage, just right at the green, kind of at the end of the runoff. And yeah, you could see the top of the pin. That was it. We were kind of hoping someone would block it out to the right, and then we'd have a class, like, impossible shot to watch them take. But you couldn't see. You'd see balls go in, you'd hear people clap, but you've no idea how close it is. You'd need to be literally on the edge of the green. So yeah, they'll obviously take that in consideration when they place the grandstands around.
Yeah, 100%. The only issue with grandstands is that you have to obviously queue for them and hope that you get a spot. Whereas if it's a natural contouring of the land, and I keep going back to it, but like Augusta has natural hills all around the place that people can just stand up on. So if you find a spot, you find a spot rather than queuing for a grandstand and hoping that you get up. But that's interesting. So let's speak a little bit about the Ryder Cup in 2027. How do you think this is going to set up for the Ryder Cup? Are you excited? Are you more excited? Are you less excited for it?
Oh, I absolutely buzzing to think that like it's me and my mate. As soon as we kind of got there, I'd say within about 2 hours, we were like, we're just going to make a Revolut vault now and just put money away every week to play a Dare Manor as soon as possible. And because as you said, not just I think the green fees are actually raised this week on the back of the event, but there's obviously the caddy, the tip, the everything else to
Mm,
go with it. So it's a few bob, but yeah, it's I've never wanted to play a course more in my life now after walking around there for 2 days. But yeah, for the Ryder Cup, I guess there was some interesting comments about it during the week. I think the main one was Ram talking about
mm, yeah,
the maybe having to de-Americanize it because it has that kind of I guess stadium course kind of feel to it from the States. Just another kind of famous Fazio. And he, to be fair to him, he kind of while it was built with the Ryder Cup in mind, one thing Tom Fazio has always said is that it looks very easy, but it's not.
yeah,
And you alluded to it there, the runoffs. Like if you miss a green, you're absolutely toast. But from the fairway, it might look relatively easy. So an amazing course in that regard. I think I'm not sure now, but I heard Harrington might have had something to do with helping
yeah,
design some of the holes. And like the last four is like typical kind of, I guess, of your perfect design of a golf course, like a drivable par four, a dodgy par three, relatively easy par four, and then a par five finish with a risk reward. So it's going to make for absolutely class match play finishes. So yeah, Ryder Cup, perfect.
100%. I heard that Harrington especially had a key influence on the 15th hole. He was like, "No, we need this drive with par four here. It has to be right here because it runs along the water." And I completely agree with you. I'm way more excited now. And I saw one of the no laying up lads tweeted this during the week saying, sorry, maybe it was Dylan Debt here, tweeted that he was a bit disappointed that the Ryder Cup in Ireland wasn't being played in the links course. But next best thing to the links course does seem to be a Dare Manor. Like the one thing is it's very open off the tee, which is good. And I saw a lot of lads disappointed with approach shots or with their tee shots, and they weren't in any trouble whatsoever. But the approach shots are where it really starts to show its teeth. Like the pins, some of the green complexes are just so unique that you can have so many pin locations on them, and it's going to make for incredible viewing. Where, for example, and the one example I went on Twitter earlier was the sixth hole, the par three down the hill. The first day it was tucked behind the bunker on the front right of the green, and Matt Fitz is going for it, and he landed in the short bunker. And to be honest, I don't know if the short bunker is a good or bad spot, but if he missed that just left or just right, if he misses just right, he's rolling down a massive runoff area and he's below the surface of the green. If he misses the green left, he's in the water. And there's just so many holes like that. Even the 15th, everybody can hit driver, but there's water all along the right-hand side. And then if you even get it around the green, it's not always the easiest up and down. The 16th, the green is like 80 yards long. So you can play it easy and put the pin on the left-hand side, or play it tough and put it over on the right-hand side, and players are left with a bit of a tougher shot. And then the 18th is just, and I hope a lot of matches get to the 18th. That's the only issue. But the 18th will be one of the best matches, closing holes to a match that you could ever see. It's not easy. And we saw Larry yesterday on the final hole. He left it in the bunker and then he kind of bladed it over the back of the green. He's in this little collection area. And I think he made up and down, but I could be wrong there. But it was not an easy up and down anyway. So you can go for it in two and take the risk, or you can lay up, which I don't know if many lads did that.
Yeah, I think anyone that kind of was playing it, especially in an exhibition, was probably going to go for it if they had the legs. But we didn't really realize. I completely forgot there was a golf competition going on. Up until I think Scheffler was in the clubhouse at 10, and suddenly we were like, "Shit, Larry's two back." Like,
Yeah.
I think he stuck it in on 16, and he just missed that birdie. If he had a birdie that, I think he would have tied it, and I don't know what would have happened then. But after he missed that in part 17, it was like, right, here we go. Like as close as you'll get to a match play scenario. It's like he needs an eagle to force a playoff. Obviously it didn't work out. He did go for it, but yeah, in terms of encouraging that kind of golf, it's hopefully lots of matches get to the 18th because it will be class to watch.
Yeah, 100%. One of the questions I got earlier on Instagram was, what changes do you foresee happening at Adair Manor before the Ryder Cup? And I'll just take this, and it's going to be the obvious one, but the rough is only about an inch long this week, or an
Yeah.
inch and a half.
Yeah, I was gonna say it literally, like it's class to look through, like when you're able to see through kind of three holes, and like the trees there on their own with their own kind of pine bed around the bottom, perfectly kind of circular. Like it looked amazing, but you could absolutely blow it anywhere and you'd be absolutely
Yeah.
fine if you missed the water.
Yeah, 100%. The one other kind of insight that I got from the caddy that time of playing was that JP will not let the rough go long. Now, come a Ryder Cup scenario, he might have to, but in terms of just general play to play, he refuses to let the rough go long, because if a ball is buried in a rough, it takes away the player's option to shape a ball or make a shot happen, which is interesting. So if a ball is, let's say, 20 yards before a tree and they need to fade it around it, rather than trying to hack out a rough, at least they have the option to do that and make for unbelievable viewing. So that was an interesting point, but it's very short, and I'm sure it'll be much longer come Ryder Cup time.
Yeah, there is. You could see some of the kind of fescue there in between the holes, like between 10 and 1, when you're walking between the nines, you could see areas of it. So it's there. It's on parts of the course, but they're not in play. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they do actually kind of, especially like 20, 30 yards off the fairway, like deep.
Yeah.
Like it was way, way offline. You'd still be, unless you're behind a tree, you'd actually be fine. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they do. But no, I don't. I don't really think, in terms of changes to the course, I think the thing that caught me by surprise the most was the runoffs, like all the elevated greens. Like I remember being behind 13, and it was like a small building between you and the green. Like it was genuinely outrageous. So like with that kind of a protection, I guess if you are way offline and you're having to shape shots, if you're having to shape shots into these greens, and specifically pins that are tucked away with the runoff as their guard, you're doing very well to hold them in some cases. So like maybe JP's right. I do think, for especially some of the Yanks, and well, if Bryson plays the Ryder Cup now or not, and DJ and whatever, that's a different conversation. But like for just for lads who are absolutely spraying it with pure power, and I think they'd have to be punished in some way, but maybe the runoffs are enough to kind of force you to play with accuracy as opposed to going just wild.
Yeah, it doesn't play too long either. Like it doesn't seem like that long of a course. The only thing is, I'm not sure if that was the prevailing wind yesterday, because like the 8th hole, there's a bunker out there off the tee onto the right hand side, and not one player was getting within 20 yards of it because it was into the wind. And then they were hitting, like I saw Morikawa, and he must have hit a 6-iron into the wind, came up short right and found that little collection area. But just the shots around the green are what make for such spectacular viewing, because it's great sitting there and watching lads hit drives all day. But when you actually get to up and close and personal with them and see them miss a green and then have to scramble, it's excellent viewing.
Yeah, no, it is in terms of yesterday anyway. I guess they're all fairly relaxed.
Yeah,
wasn't really any pressure there, but it was cool to still hear the thought process going on with the caddies. Especially around some of the par threes. Six was very cool to actually listen to them kind of work it out. Because I know on day one I wasn't around 6, but we were on 5, so we could see the green. Loads of guys going long right, Bryson, Ram, all in the water long. Like so, like while from the tee it looks like it's fairly straightforward hole with a bunker on the right. If you pull it, push it, give it too much juice,
shank it.
You're absolutely gone. Shanks, yeah, there's a few shanks. But I'm surprised there wasn't more shanks with 30,000 people watching amateurs.
Same as that.
Fairly impressed with some of the amateurs yesterday, now, to be fair to them.
So yeah, let's talk about a little bit about the amateurs. I heard that rumor going around, and I heard this from like 2 or 3 people, that it cost 250,000 to enter a team for amateurs yesterday. Which
I'd be able to confirm those rumors, yeah.
Okay, that's some
Few
emergency
quid.
info from Conor Nolan on the podcast.
A few quid. I don't know who I heard it from now, but yeah, it's quarter of a mil, and someone bought six of them. So yeah, great fun.
Yeah, but in fairness to the amateurs, I couldn't get over how good they were. Like no joke, if that was me or my brother, I'm not going to speak for you because I haven't played golf with you yet, Connor, but we'd be all over the place. I heard of two bad shots. I heard of one person literally shank it at a man in the head on the ninth hole, and the other one, and that actually happened right beside us, but I just didn't see it. The other one I heard happened was one of the Smurfets topped it off the tee on the first tee with Tiger on the first day. So
Yeah,
I don't blame him.
I didn't see it now, but I heard that as well. Like I couldn't get over it. Like so when we were on day two anyway, it was when things it felt like a festival walking down the eighth and ninth with
Mm.
Tiger, with Rory behind him and sorry, Larry behind him and Rory behind him. Like it was absolutely insane. But we I couldn't believe the fairways were lined as including around where the amateurs could literally shank one straight at someone's head. Like it was like you kind of forget. I think maybe it's just because if you go to watch a golf tournament or see it on TV, you're like, oh yeah, this is how we line up, and everyone just wants some sort of space to see the pros. You're forgetting that like that person is could be you just standing there trying to play, absolutely shitting themselves. So yeah, I'm surprised there wasn't more ambulances called. But
Yeah.
no, it was nice to see the human side of it as well. Like it's great to watch the pros, but then when you actually watch an average person struggling on the course, it kind of brings you back into reality that this is a proper fucking test.
Yeah, no, 100%. Did you see the Limerick players out following the groups?
No, I didn't. On Monday or Tuesday, or both days.
Both days, some of the Limerick hurlers obviously were given bans to get behind the ropes access,
Oh
and that's
yeah.
what they were the lads literally following the groups on the fairways. So I thought that was
Ah, okay,
interesting.
that makes sense. Yeah, the only person I saw who was kind of inside the ropes was Michael Carrick. He was
Mm.
literally, it was like he was stalking Tiger. And to be fair, I would do the exact same thing if I had an unlimited band. But it was
You were
just
doing
so
that from
funny.
behind the ropes.
That was me. Yeah, just absolutely couldn't. Me and 20,000 others.
I know. The other rumor I heard was this is pure hearsay now, but for the sake of podcast, we'll just say that if you played bad, you would be like next time you went to enter a team, they'd ask you not to enter a team.
No way.
Apparently, but and I didn't really want to believe it, but it would make sense. I honestly couldn't get over. Like, surely some sort of 20 handicap applied for this, and they were like, no, because I didn't see one person out there properly hacking continuously after every hole.
Yeah, there was a few colorful swings, but nothing really proper kind of no proper hackers. I
Mm.
believe it though. To be fair, like anytime you see pro-ams at normal tournaments, like the amateurs have to be up to a certain level. Like imagine even if you went out and played with three lads who are new at golf, like your own golf would deteriorate just from watching
Yeah,
them. So I think there is in pro-ams as a general rule, you have to be at a certain level
yeah,
to step inside the ropes. And I think with the expected crowds at Adair, there surely was a cutoff point. There had to be, or else it would
yeah.
actually be dangerous. So yeah, I didn't hear that rumor now, but I see where it's coming from.
I can see where it's coming from too. We'll wrap it up here in the next 5 minutes or so. But a quick word on JP or thoughts, anything to say? Out and out
No,
legend.
legend. No, sure. I big into horse racing, so I'm just surprised there wasn't a statue of Istabrak in the middle of the golf course. And it was cool, like as in, sure, what's that? I didn't see a final number, but like up till this year was 140 million, I think, raised.
Mm,
Like it's just it's such an incredible event, and I get I guess the timing is very good. Seeing as all the Americans are coming over to the UK and Ireland anyway, to be able to
mm.
tie it in or maybe to be able to appeal to them to not play 1 or 2 rounds before the Scottish Open for the practice rounds and come over here. And I'd say he kind of helped them out in terms of take the Ricky JT Spieth groups going down to Waterville.
Yeah.
I'd say he might have helped organize that or push in the right direction or set up a few links golf courses for them to play before they hit Scotland. So I'd say there was a lot of work gone in the background there to make it very appealing to attract literally the best golfers in the world. So yeah, it's absolute legend, and the whole team around it.
Yeah, 100%. I did hear another rumor of when JT. So we obviously know JT, Spieth, and Scheffler played Lahinch on the Saturday, and then on the Sunday, Spieth, JT, and Fowler played Tralee. But apparently, they obviously brought to and from Lahinch by helicopter, and then they were brought to Tralee by helicopter, dropped off, and then apparently the helicopter was going back for JP to collect him and bring him up to Croke Park for the Limerick Hurlers semi-final.
I heard that. Yeah, I heard that. Him and Bill Murray.
Yeah. So imagine being on that helicopter.
It's tough at the top.
I feel sorry for them. But I thought some of the numbers and stuff that came out about JP during the week was just absolutely incredible. And I'll just name off a few here that I've tweeted earlier. Like the wives and girlfriends of the golfers received €10,000 spending money for the local shops. He's obviously trying to help out the local shops. Westlife performed at the gala dinner. The local ice cream maker was giving out free ice cream, which was unbelievable.
Small things, yeah. Small things make a big difference. Yeah.
And to him, that probably cost him a couple of $100,000 to get the €10,000 vouchers or the prepaid cards and Westlife and the ice cream maker. But he just seems like such a genuine local lad, and he just loves Limerick. And the only thing I resent him for is the fact that he wasn't born in Meath. But
I was about to say, if you've any kind of, not jealousy, but if you've any negative sentiment towards him, it's because he's not from your county. Because if you had someone in your county doing that for you, it would just be absolute blessing in disguise. But yeah, it's Limerick pulled a good one there. Can't think of any good loud entrepreneurs now to steamroll Seapoint and Baltray for a Ryder Cup. But yeah, hopefully one comes out of the woodwork soon.
Maybe someday. Very good. All right, Conor, I think we leave there. I know we could speak for another 2 hours about Live and Seapoint and the Irish Open and Baltray and the Open Championship. Before we go, give us your one pick to win or 2 picks to win for the Open Championship, or any tips that you have.
I think Xander Schauffele takes all the boxes, and I like to see him go out there and do it now this week as well. It kind of just solidified my decision, and that he's definitely someone to get behind. Rory then obviously as well. It's so good that everyone's kind of seems to be hitting peak at the same time, or everyone's starting to really perform. Just as the Open, the 150th Open at St Andrews comes back, I really, really hope it comes down to the wire on Sunday, and it's a proper kind of absolute head-to-head clash like we had a few weeks ago with Finau, JT, and Rory, kind of just best in the world, absolutely scrapping it out on Sunday. Each way, I haven't really thought about it too much yet. I'll leave that for next week. But I definitely, if I had a gun to my head now, I'd be putting the house on Xander Schauffele.
Yeah. I've seen,
and I think he's still 20s. He's 20 something to 1 as well. He's not one of the favorites. He's still good value.
Yeah, 100%. I think so. Obviously, without naming the whole field, obviously Rory has an unbelievable chance. Scheffler has an unbelievable chance. The one person I've seen mentioned on Twitter, and I think I've been sold on it, so this isn't my thought, but Cameron Smith. And I was watching the video today. I think it's by Golf Digest on the whole layout of the course and the 18 holes, talking through them. And the big left, a big left miss is not punished near as much as a big right miss. And Cameron Smith, he suffers with that big left miss. He's good on birdie fests. He's excellent around the green. I think he's a good man to look at. And then one
Yeah,
other person.
what's his form around Open and Scottish Open? I haven't even looked at that.
No, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
Oh no, he's definitely a good shout. Just with any Americans, you'd always have to kind of think about if they're able to play this sport, the different sport that is links golf.
Yeah, that last 3 years he's finished 78th, 20th, and 33rd. So, and he's playing a lot better year than you.
So he's made 3 cuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm playing a lot better this year. The other one was, and I'm going to be killed because sometimes I take his information and he gives out to me for not crediting him. But Barry Riley on Instagram gave me Padraig Harrington at 150 to 1. He finished T17 last year at the Alfred Dunhill Links. I think he's made, I can't remember even off the top of my head, but he's made the cut in his last 3 Open appearances or something like this. And he's 150 to 1. He's playing much better now than he did before. He won the US Senior Men's Open. He shot the course record yesterday in Adair, actually, which was incredible. So
without birdie in 15, I remember saying that, geez, he's going to break the course record. Yeah. No, he's, and I guess one of the main stats I think for British Opens is actually having a win under your belt that year. So I think we can give him that with the US Senior Open. And there's a very familiar 200 to 1 shot won it not so long ago. So it's definitely, if you have that links experience, fucking if Darren Clark can fucking do it, Padraig Harrington definitely fits the same criteria. So yeah, I wouldn't be dismissing it.
100%. All right, super, Conor. I think we'll wrap it up there. Thanks very much for joining. It's a pleasure having you on, and I'm sure we'll definitely get you on again soon.
Lovely. Cheers, lad. Thanks, Manny.
All right. Thanks, Conor. Bye-bye.